Today we have Kareen Mills here from Legal Shield. She's joining us today on episode 9 of the No BS show. Today we're going to be talking about the American Dream, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Not only does she work with Legal Shield, she's a hustler, 24/7 fellow entrepreneur like myself, in the process of writing a book along with a lot of other things as well. So true pleasure to have you on the show here today.
Thank you, Brendan.
Yes.
Appreciate being here.
Yeah, absolutely. So how things been for you? What's new with you?
Oh my gosh, what's not new?
I know, right? Always something going on. You got a lot of things going on, a lot of moves you're making right now. So it's exciting to see.
Yeah, I have been having a lot of sleepless nights, running on 2-3 hours of sleep, lots of naps during the day.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know about naps, it's actually a great secret for running a business that'll give you an entire day.
Mm-hmm. Nothing like doing a little 20-minute power nap after lunch or something like that, or when you start to be running a little bit low. Only can have a few cups of coffee in the day, right? You don't want to overdo it. So make sure that is something that I do myself as well. So definitely that's a great point there. So today we're going to talk about the American Dream. So why don't you start off and tell us a little bit about that?
American Dream. I think a lot of people perceive American Dream as something they are going to go get, and it's outside of themselves. But for me, what the American Dream means is that it's you. It's what you do with your life and how you make out of life. It becomes your American Dream. Yeah. And so everything, and it applies for anything in business, everything you do is up to you, and it starts with you. Mm-hmm. So we read a lot of books because we want to get a lot of knowledge. Yep. But at the same time, it's really, it should really be coming from you and you going to get that American Dream. And it's alive and kicking. Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially in today's in today's society, in today's modern age, with the devices we have, with the technology we have, anybody and everybody from anywhere can literally make that American Dream happen for themselves. And like you said, it starts from within. You know, you have to find your true happiness and what you love to do, and that's how it ends up happening. It starts with that idea of, what is it that you love to do and what are you passionate about? And then you need to get the mindset that you can do it, because so many people don't think they can get the American Dream because of, where they were born or where they're from or their, economic class that they're in or anything like that. There's so many negative thoughts out there that hold people back. So, it starts from within, and then you have to believe that you can achieve that American Dream and you can go and get it. But like you said, it definitely starts from within and finding that passion and really what you love to do, because once you find that and then you believe and get your mind right, anything's possible. Anything is possible. And there's a lot of excuses that people can make. Exactly. I mean, like disability or like circumstances. Yeah. And, I came from a poor family, or I came from the third world country, and I personally came from the third world country, and I don't, sometimes, or I'm dyslexic, or whatever it is that excuses that we can come up with, it really truly is a strength. You should see those things as a strength, because it gives you no choice just to go for it. And it actually is, it's almost like a blessing in disguise, because you have no choice but to go for it, because the other option is not so good. Yeah, exactly. Right? And the biggest thing, you can't deposit excuses, right? So kind of funny point there. But no, it holds so true. And one of the biggest things, from hearing your story and then also from my own is, those struggles or those hard times, or when you're struggling, that's actually what makes you stronger, and really what propels you to be even better out there. We've all heard the saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," right? And that holds so true to entrepreneurship and business out there, and then just your personal life as well. You really learn along the way by just taking that action and not giving up, because like you said, the other option isn't good, right? So there's either failure, which obviously everybody stumbles and trips and fall, and you learn along the way, but you got to keep getting up from that, and you got to keep battling through those struggles and everything that you run into out there, and that's really what makes you a great leader and a true entrepreneur out there. Only takes one success. I mean, there's going to be many failures, and you got to have patience. When you're talking about the American Dream and going for it, you're going to go through some nightmares. I mean, I personally went through some, adversities and nightmares in my life here in America. Yeah. But they were they were more like a nudge to be better.
Yeah.
I took them as an opportunity to grow, and that's really how you grow, is when you go through those challenges.
Yeah.
I heard someone say that failure has no detour. You have to go through the mess, like the spaghetti.
Yep.
The
That's
tangled
true.
up, the tangled up spaghetti we call life.
Yep.
And you got to go through that. There's no going around it
No
to get
shortcuts.
to success.
Exactly.
You have to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And by going through it, you learn certain lessons and skill set that you wouldn't even learn in school.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So it's,
No, that's so very true, and, someone asked me the other day, what's the secret sauce, or, how do you make it happen? And really there is no secret sauce, in my opinion. It really is hard work over long periods of time, and that's the only way to become successful. There's no overnight success. You see that athlete that comes out of nowhere, the musician that comes out of nowhere, right? But what you don't see is all the years and years of hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears that truly goes into it, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're everywhere, right? And that's what people don't realize, is it's not just about the game. It's all the practice and all the work that goes into it, and that's the only way to become successful out there and, get that American dream and, make it yours, and it's from that. So
yeah. Sarah Blakely, one of like a really great inspiration for me, who founded Spanx.
Spanx, yeah. I saw her on that Shark Tank the other day.
Yeah. And she posted on her Instagram, I think it was yesterday or the other day, that, and many people don't know, for 20 years, she just work, and she just started working out recently.
Yeah.
And it's like, she had no life for 20 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Spanx, she's like a billionaire. I mean, billionaire out of nylons.
Yeah, exactly, right? Who would have thought, right?
I know. And so
and she's a great example, too, of coming from nothing with, not having a bunch of money handed to her. It's literally hard work for 20 years before she became a billionaire and where she's at today.
Yeah, and she actually got rejected. I've read a little bit of her story. She got rejected by many manufacturers when she proposed her Spanx products. And finally, a man of all people agreed to make it.
Yeah.
And once they made it, they knock on Neiman Marcus doors, and this purchaser would not talk to her. And she says, can you please just go to the fitting room with me and try one on, and then the rest was history. Yeah. And it's just she used to be like a fax machine salesperson, door to door. That's what the American dream is, guys. It's like the step by step process of you doing the things you never want to do. Yeah. But you want to get to the other side, and again, you have to go through the tangled up spaghetti of life. Yeah. It's the only way to get there.
Exactly. And speaking of things you don't want to do, when I, kind of an interesting part of my story was I was super quiet and shy in high school. Didn't really have a lot of friends. Played hockey and all that. Shy? I was really shy. I know it doesn't seem like it, because I'm super outgoing now. I own sales companies, and sales and marketing is what I do, and I love it, right? Which is the exact opposite of usually what makes a good salesperson, is being shy and quiet and all that. So I was really quiet in high school. Didn't really have a lot of money, was actually living in my friend's garage at the time, and had an opportunity to do telemarketing with a sales company in payment processing. So I started doing that because the money was pretty good, and within a couple months, literally making 350 calls a day, calling people, which is something I never thought I'd be good at or never thought I would do. Definitely wasn't the most fun, but I made the best of the situation because I knew I was learning a lot, and I was taking those tools and those traits and that skill set so I could use it later on. And it really helped develop me to, handle that rejection. Because you literally, the goal was setting 3 appointments on 350 calls. So you're literally hearing no, people yelling at you, swearing at you, telling you to F off, all that all day long. So you just learn to kind of have fun with it, right? And then I kind of, saw the owner of the company and went to him and was like, hey, I will triple what you're making if you move me to sales. So he's like, okay, here's a book. Go do it. I'm like, oh, shit, what do I do, right? Because that's the training, and I've never done sales or anything like that before. So literally at that point, started knocking doors and would just go up and down streets. And then every night I'd go home and write in my little spiral notebook what I was running into. What were my weaknesses? What could I not overcome? I know I'm not interested. Okay, how do I develop a script or a system to overcome that objection? And just kind of you learn to realize that, those are the things right there, the stuff you don't want to do, going door to door, making telemarketing phone calls, that really helped develop me into not caring what people think. And I think that's something that really holds entrepreneurs back, or people back in general, is the fear of rejection, or, oh, they're going to think I look like an idiot, or, oh, they're going to think this of me, that I'm a salesperson and sales is bad, blah, 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 right? None of that's real. And you got to realize that you can't care what other people think. Yes. You just have to go for it, because that's the next step. And you have to do those things and put in that work, because that's what's going to lead you to success and, achieving the American dream.
Yeah, one of my mentors always said that if you take a bullet for your kids, why would you not take a no for your kids?
Yeah.
It was a really eye-opening.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I haven't heard that before.
Analogy.
That's super interesting. Yeah.
Yes, I take a bullet for my kids, and he's like, why wouldn't you take a no?
Yeah.
It's great to hear your story, because I have a story of my own, because you're an introvert.
Yeah,
I was very
natural introvert, yeah.
Very timid when I came to America, coming from another country, different culture shock.
Yeah.
Broken English. My English is still broken, by the way, but...
It sounds very good. I don't know what you're talking about. Natural.
But I was very timid. I was a teller in the front line at a really large bank, and I was talked to the manager and said, if you don't start asking questions, I'm sending you home.
Yeah.
And that was like my defining moment of, okay, oh shoot, do I start asking questions, or do I not make any income and go home?
Yeah.
And from that point on, I changed the way I saw sales. Sales is not, I think a lot of us see sales or selling as
bad or evil
or whatever, but
there's a lot of negative connotations with it, but it happens every single day. You sell yourself every day. Yeah, 100%. Whether you're at the bar trying to, get a date or anything like that, you're always selling yourself, trying to get that next job, that next interview, trying to open your own business, the Spanx lady, trying to get in front of that, manufacturer and just really going for it. She didn't take no for an answer, and she had to keep selling herself.
You're a promotion for a job, whether you're in HR or you're in operation, you're selling yourself.
Yep.
I don't care if you say, I hate sales. You do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And kids do it all the time to us.
Yeah.
You have kids, I have kids.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're the best salespeople
in the world.
They have
the best tonality, for sure. They always have a little upticks and all that, and they know how to get what they want.
Yeah, and they never take no for an answer.
Exactly.
They'll ask a million times in different ways, and as a kid, we're already American dreams, but I think life as we know it, and life happens to us when we become adults, it kind of cripples us from going for it. Yeah. Because we're scared. We start being
worrying
scared
about what others think. And being judged and everything like that. And that's kind of one of the things I've been talking quite a lot with recently, is just that, ability to think like a kid again. Because like you said, when you're a kid, you have the biggest dreams in the world. You want to be a superstar, an actress, an actor, an athlete. And then somewhere along the way, you lose that, because you start worrying about what other people think, and you start putting those limiting beliefs on yourself that, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard, I can't do it because I'm too short, I can't do it because, oh, I'm quiet, I'm shy, I can't do it because of this.
I'm not pretty enough. I'm too this, I'm too. It's like, just, you have your own talents.
Yes.
You know.
Mm-hmm. You have to figure out what you love, what your strengths are, and then double down on your strengths, and just really go for it and believe, and think like a kid again. That's the biggest thing, forget thinking about what others think, or hearing the word no, and just think like a kid. And then all of a sudden you'll be able to have bigger and brighter goals, and, start to see the, the possibilities again like you used to. So
there's no limit.
There isn't.
The American dream is unlimited if you're willing to go through the process. And the process is never pretty.
No, it's not.
That's news to most people.
Yeah.
Because they only see the glory. They don't see, you going through the process to get there. And we're still going through a process. I mean, every step of the way.
100%.
It is a process, and you have to be willing to fall down and get you just have to get
Yeah,
back
own
up.
it, learn from it, get back up, on to the next. I mean,
Yep.
it's that simple. I mean, here at Riverside alone, I know there's been 3 or 4 other sub companies that we've worked with, 2 of which flat out didn't work, and that's something that was quote unquote a failure, but learned from it and then moved on. There's nothing you can do with it. You just got to own it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and learn from it, adjust, adapt, keep taking action.
Yep. Control what you can.
Yeah.
And what you can't, get over it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is going to suck up your time.
Yes.
If you cry over something, you have
Mm-hmm.
absolutely zero
Yep.
control over.
Exactly.
So the American dream is alive and kicking. It's
Yes,
there.
it is. So
It's
tell
there
us a little
for the
bit more
taking.
about the turning point. We kind of turbo scrolled off a little bit, but with, when you're talking about sales and your boss told you to start asking questions or you're going to be sitting home, talk a little bit more about that.
I was really timid, and I had a lot of people go through my window as a teller. You're on the front line, and they want you to at least ask questions and make people
Yeah.
think about, at that time,
Opening
this
new
is how
accounts
back
and-
in the day, going to age myself, but it was, online banking was new, and we were
Yeah.
introducing it to our clients, and it was just, hey, do you have online banking? Are you signed up yet? Do you have a credit card? Did you know you earn points with credit card? I mean, it was just really simple and basic question, but
Yeah.
because I was so timid and scared to talk in English.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a great smile and people
Yeah.
come to my window and I could
Yeah.
help them without talking, but I needed to take it to the next level, and I still did not do the things I did not
And
want
was
to
it the
do.
fear of rejection or the fear of being judged? What was it that was holding you back,
It was
you
the
think?
fear. It was intimidating to me because I was very fearful that I was going to have a bad English, or I
Yeah.
wasn't going to say the right thing, or I
Yeah.
was going to mispronounce things. And for those of you immigrants out there, we have another layer of challenge
Yes.
when we come to this country, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Nike says, just
do it. Yeah. Best slogan ever right there.
have you heard of Jim Quick?
I have not, no.
You talk about, you want to be a superhero when you're a kid. And,
Yeah.
and his story really impacted me. He
Okay.
just put out a video, and I just watched. He was quote unquote like called stupid in school when he was
Yeah.
young, and he couldn't quite read and all that. But now he's a thought leader. His story is amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to bore people about it, but Jim Quick is somebody you have to follow because his American dream is happening.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, another great example of that is Gary Vee, right? He's an immigrant, struggled in school. He talks about that all the time. Wasn't really a jock or an athlete, so kind of was a little bit of a loner. So he just learned how to hustle and make money, essentially, which wasn't cool at the time. But he talks about that, and that's a really cool part of his story. And, I mean, look at him. I mean, that's a great example of somebody that isn't the stereotypical, super smart kid that goes to Harvard or the jock athlete that's literally made a name for himself and made entrepreneurship cool. And that's really impressive and another great example, and somebody definitely follow, check out. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him, but those are the people that you can learn from, and that's a great example too of there's no limit on success. So just because somebody else is that successful, that doesn't mean you can't do it. That means that you can do it, and you just literally learn from what they've done and see if you can take some of those skill sets or what they've done and apply it to your strengths and your traits to hopefully propel you forward. And again, there's no limit to it. The more and more people that are successful out there, that just is more and more examples of how you can do it yourself too.
Yeah. Well, we dropped a lot of names here today, and the reason for that is Brandon and I study a lot of successful people, and success leaves a trace. And you don't have to read many textbooks. And college, I'm college educated. I have my Bachelor of Science degree in accounting, but I don't do any accounting. And so I follow certain people that already has the success that I have, and I study them, and that's really really how you do it. It's going for it, figuring it out.
Yeah, you copy, you mimic, you hack, whatever the phrase is you want to call it. Whoever or whatever industry you're in, whatever you're trying to do, follow and surround yourself and really get embedded and with the technology, get in that community of people. If you want to be an author, get into that community where you follow the best authors, read their books, learn from what they did. They'll tell you their story, and you can take that, learn from it, and apply from it, and hopefully do even better. And again, follow in their footsteps. Learn what not to do and learn what to do. There's so many examples of that, and that's where you just get a part of that community. And speaking of author, I hear yourself, you are in the process of writing a book, finalizing it up.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, it's called The Sixth Sense, how ordinary people can transform into extraordinary entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sixth Sense is sort of the American dream, like you already had it and you were born with it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to develop it.
Yep.
And how do you develop it is going to be in the book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
why you got to read the book.
Exactly. You got to check it out.
But it's there embedded in you. And like one of my mentors had spoken on stage, and he talked about our thumb, our fingerprint, and how do you ever question why is it so unique from the person next to you? And everybody in the world have a very unique fingerprint.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a code that our creator, our maker, whatever you want to call it, has given to us, and we got to crack the code. We got to figure out what is our purpose, and maybe that is the reason why we have that unique fingerprint. And you just have to question everything. It's mind-bending to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, we all have the Sixth Sense, but you have to crack how to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And leverage it for your growth. So that's
super interesting.
That's a little bit about the book.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, definitely excited to pick up a copy as soon as it's available myself. I'll post the link and everything here in the thread when we post the podcast, so everyone can check it out as well. But yeah, no, that's super interesting. That's a great way of looking at it, because everybody does have their own unique thumbprint. And just thinking back over the years and just kind of how I work my businesses and everything is just kind of always trying to figure out how to develop a system, simplify it, and really apply it and teach others. And I think that's a really cool thing with your book and some of the projects that you're working on is it's about paying it forward and teaching others and helping others to find their own success and, find their own system and routine to really get them to realize the American dream is possible. And it's alive and kicking, like you said. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's so alive and kicking, but you got to be alive and kicking too. I posted something on social media today, and I said, you can't just rise, you have to shine. And it's a must. You have to shine in every single day that you do something. And that when you said find your purpose and figure out a way to monetize it. And you don't have to separate your profession from your person. You can do both at the same
100%.
time.
And that's when you truly find happiness, is if you're able to find what you love to do and you enjoy going to quote-unquote work. It's not work anymore, it's just a way of life, and you just really open yourself up and you're able to do so much more because it's not really work at that point. It's something that you're loving to do and you enjoy it, so it just makes it that much easier for you. And the easier you can make it on yourself, the more likely you're going to be successful out there.
Yeah, and I just make myself a resource to everybody. Like yesterday I was having coffee with Brian Shields in his office, and I get a text message saying, hey, what's the best restaurant in Salmon Creek?
Yeah.
And like that's really, that's how people see me, and that's how people should see you, is that they're okay with coming to you for help, regardless of whether that's what you do or not. Because you become that person.
It's a community. You're all helping each other out and trying to better everybody else. And there's so much negativity out there, on social media, the news, and everything. You got to focus on being that positive person that helps impact people in a positive way. And it can be something from as basic as, what's a great restaurant in Salmon Creek, to, hey, I know you've done this, or, I know you're writing a book, or I know you're doing this. Can you mentor me or help me with that? And it's about just asking and then making sure you're there too and paying it forward. Give 51, take 49. That's a great quote that I've heard recently. And you always want to pay forward a little bit more, and if they give back, awesome. If not, you did your part to make the world a better place. Yeah,
you said mentor, and one of the biggest secret that I think I could share is just surround yourself with the right people. People that elevate your game in order for you to get to that American dream, however you define that American dream is up to you. But
true.
Surround yourself with people. Of course, you can't really necessarily surround yourself with the thought leaders that you follow on social media, but you
can't immerse yourself into the communities on social media.
Yes, and there's never been a better way or a better time in our history of histories that you have access to those people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just amazing.
It's super cool.
It's an
I love it.
world.
And then one thing too with that is you got to fight for it. So kind of one other thing that in my career that kind of ties in a little bit with the Spanx story you were talking about there as well is you got to fight for it, right? So when you're out there, I was going through my sales career, starting to get pretty good at it, really good at it, and just kind of ran into this process of just kind of getting the runaround, or I want to think about it, kind of getting caught up in the people that, were really nice, we have great rapport, but they just wouldn't pull the trigger. So at that point, I didn't give up. And there's a lot of times where people are like, oh, it's too hard, this and that. But you just got to fight for it. And, you really just go out there and, okay, what do you mean? Like, I'm able to do all the things you're looking for. Let's talk about it. Is it me? Like, what do we need to do to help you out and put you in that better situation? And just standing in the fire per se. And again, that's part of the sales process and entrepreneurship process is you got to fight for it because you're going to hear the no's or the people that are right there on the fence. And that's when you stand in the fire, you push, and you really try. And if you want something bad enough, you have to take it. No one's going to hand it to you. So you have to keep developing yourself and figure out how to overcome those objections or those obstacles along the way through the maze of spaghetti and all that, like you said there, because it's not easy. But if you keep fighting for it, you're going to be amazed at what you can do because you're going to be bettering yourself every day.
Yeah.
So
I agree, 100%.
Yep. So yeah, in summary, the American dream is alive and kicking. Make sure that you keep fighting out there. You surround yourself with the right people. Take massive action. And then again, of course, check out Kareen's book, The Sixth Sense. I'll be posting the link here again. Thank you so much for joining us on the No BS show today. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And yeah,
so much.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be Kareen unless I take a selfie.
All right, selfie time. That's right. The selfie queen.
This is what I do. It's just part of my branding.
Yes, absolutely.
There you have it.
All right, there we go. Make it a great day, everybody out there. Take action and go for your dreams. Turn them into reality.